Hey River Valley, wanted to shoot this video with you, and I want to teach you something today that I had to learn early on in the life of River Valley, and it's a church growth lesson. So in the early days of River Valley, we grew like this. I mean, it was almost every single week we had more people than the last week. In fact, first 2 summers that I was here for River Valley, we grew in the summers. I mean, it was tremendous. And so there's an excitement and momentum that is building during that time. It feels, you just, man, who's going to be here today? How many are going to be here today? It's a lot of fun. After that, I panicked. And so I actually had to call one of my coaches, and I said, we're not growing every week or every month. And we started growing, instead of like a continual incline, we started growing like steps. And those were the big days. You know, what we would do is we would see a group of people come in, get assimilated to the church, and then happen again. And you knew by faith we were still growing. It was just a different type of growth, and that's what bigger churches tend to do. But here's the deal. We're back in a lot of ways in the early days. For the last 5 weeks in a row, here at River Valley, we've grown every single week. We're growing not just numerically, but we're growing by the percentage of what we had last year. In other words, people are starting to come back, and so we're seeing a lot of new families come and connect with our church. It kind of feels like the old days, and it's a lot of fun. And so this is a time of momentum creation. We're feeling it, we're seeing it, and so all of that lesson to say. When you're creating momentum, you can't ride it, you're creating it. And so I made the decision here during COVID that I'm going to be preaching right now. I want to be a part of what God is doing in creating this. And so even this week during Labor Day, I'm continuing. I'm going to be here. I'm preaching our services. We're continuing in Psalm 23. And so I just want you to know that it is a fun time to be at River Valley. It's wonderful to see what God is doing. It's fun to see. I wonder how many He's going to bring today. What's going to happen? And I'm really enjoying it. And so I want you to be a part of that. Now, if you hear that and you're worried about social distancing, I got to remind you, we built this building for growth. We built this building for growth, but what God is using it for right now is social distancing. There's plenty of room. This is a huge worship center that we weren't going to fill yet. We will fill it eventually, but right now it's social distancing. So even as we grow and more people come, there's plenty of room. There are literally, our rows are 20 chairs across. There are rows with no one on it. There are rows with 2 people on it. The in between the rows is this large, trust me. There's 6 foot across. There's lots of room. And so I want you to be a part of what God is doing during this moment, just like I am. I'm not taking a vacation this week. Man, I'm in the pulpit. I'm preaching just like I'm going to be next week and the week after that and the week after that, Lord willing, because for me to be a part of what God is doing in momentum and just seeing it instantly, I'm loving it. And so I wanted you to be a part of that. If you haven't chosen to come back yet, you're wondering, you're going to be in town this weekend, I'll be here. I look forward to seeing you as well to be here. Thanks, guys.